This is the Weathermeter app, or the Weatherflow weather meter. You'll see right here, this is the landing page that you first come to. Notice if you do not have your actual weather meter attached to this, you're not going to get any data up here. So note it says not connected, and all you really have access to is this last recorded section. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly bring our weather meter into focus here and allow it to connect, and there you can see it connects. But what I also want you to notice is right here, this data, if I come, as you can see, if I move this, I'm moving the actual device. There I'm blowing on the actual device and it's spinning. It's not recording any data. It will not start recording until you hit start. And for that, you actually have to moving it this much isn't really gonna do anything, but if I come in here, now there's a few things I want you to pay attention to. One, the wind speed does change based on how much airflow is going through there. Temperature also, pressure reading good, humidity also good. This directional true north, that's problematic in that because this itself does not have a gauge. There I started up aimed in the opposite direction. The direction is actually being pulled from the cell phone itself as to what direction it is. And we'll stop that. And then once we do that, we've got direction, average, gust, humidity, all that. We can select more and it's going to show us all the extra information for that specific data read. And we're going to select back. We can add a description if we wanted to, and then we can save. We can share this after the fact, or we can delete this. I am going to just delete this right from there, so all I have is my two previous ones. If I open up a previous one, just like you saw before, we've got all that app data. We can open it up and see everything else, which we'll touch on a little later, and then we can share. I can delete if I want to. Notice because this is actually attached, not only do we have the start button here, we also have this, the Weatherflow icon in the upper right hand corner, pulsating. That's just another factor letting you know, hey, the device attached to it. If we come up here to the upper left hand corner, we will click on our three bars there. That's our hamburger menu. That opens up all of the settings that we have. So starting off, wind and weather, we have take a reading, which brings us back to this page. Coming back, we can do settings. This is where you can really get into how the data is displayed to you. So you have primary activity. Right now it's set to other, but we can say windsurfing, kite, sail, fish, pilot, work, or other. I have other because none of these really pertain to me. Because we select other, I can enter a name as to what I want this to be. For me, I will just say testing and hit enter, and that will lock it in there. Next, we have our speed units. Right now I have it for miles per hour, but you can do feet per minute, knots, kilometers per hour, meters per second, and Beaufort, which I said incorrectly. I'm very certain. You have directional display. Right now it's in text. You can change that to degree. So that's again just going to be how things display for you. And the directional display in degrees, what does that mean? Well, if we come back here and run another start, you could see that it is indicating 93 degrees instead of east as it was before. And we're just going to delete that and come back into our settings. So here we have magnetic declination. We have true north or magnetic north, self-explanatory. Maximum samples per period. I have 60 samples, but you could go all the way up to infinite and as small as 3 seconds. Temperature units, Fahrenheit or Celsius. Pressure units, you have inches of mercury or millibars. I have millibars selected. Other units, you've got imperial or metric. And then here you have published data. This is one of the first things that I turned off. You have the ability to share this data, which includes your location. If you don't want to share your location data with people who can search, I suggest turning that off. Again, that's the first thing that I turned off. Just putting it out there, letting you know. You have wireless range. Right now, it's set for low, 15 feet or 5 meters. Selecting that, you can select high, which is 100/30 meters. That just means how far the device can be from the phone and application before it will lose connection. So for me, I'm only going to take readings when I'm fairly close, and I don't want this to stay connected to my phone if I'm far outside the reach of this. I want this to kind of go into a hibernate mode, which you can see it's not blinking anymore. That means it did. And then down here you have update firmware. Because this hibernated, I had to start it up again. And then we can see it's got start reading. So we are attached again. Come back here to our settings and do a firmware check. And there's no firmware, but that's where you go. We've got history. These are the 2 readings that I did. You saw them on the front page. I can select them. It will show me all that read data as I had before. I can also select edit where I can go boop, and share or delete in bulk if I wanted to right from there. You can get more wind meters if you wanted to directly from Weatherflow. Here you can see wind meter, weather meter, all the meters that they offer. Help FAQ, well, that's going to bring you to Weatherflow's Help and FAQ page for the device itself. And we're gonna come back, compatible apps. This is going to bring up applications that you can use with this. And as you might imagine, it brings you to the Weatherflow page, which is where you would find, if you didn't know already, the application for this. I have seen other people utilize this with other apps, so it's just a matter of can the data be pulled from this and ported into another app. Here we have developer inquiry. So if you had an inquiry, you can put your data in there, and then we're gonna come back, and this is going to be support, and this is sending in a support ticket. It might look very similar to the developer inquiry. It's going to a separate support page. Realistically, that is everything that you can do for the application for the Weatherflow weather meter within the weather meter app.